Supervisor Bob Vinson was on night duty on the second floor of the hotel when he noticed a strange-looking machine in the corridor, which was not present there until a little while ago. This floor of the hotel was dedicated to the employees. Seeing this strange machine at this time of the night, the supervisor began to feel something was wrong. It was a metallic box with another smaller box connected to it, and the front of it looked like a weird control panel. The control panel had a total of 28 switchable keys out of all 23. It was 6:30 in the morning, and this incident happened at the Harvey Lake Tahoe Hotel and Casino in Nevada, which was going to make national news headlines in the next 24 hours. It wasn't just the strange machine that struck Bob Vinson. He was on duty nearly all night, but he didn't hear any sound of any machine being placed in the corridor. Whoever had left the machine there had placed it on top of 4 wooden blocks. These blocks were embedded in the carpet of the corridor, making it clear that the machine had been, "It's very heavy." What made this statement even more bizarre was that the locks on the doors around where the machine was kept had been disabled by someone using superglue. While Bob Vinson was still in this dilemma, he found an envelope lying next to the machine that read, "To the Harvey Management Jam TV videos once again. Kushamdid Nazarene." Harvey Lake is a famous casino and hotel in the American state of Nevada. At the time we are talking about, it was an 11-story building with 197 rooms. When Bob Vinson, who was on the second floor of the building, found the envelope, he ran to call the security, later also called the police and the fire department. At first, no one had the courage to lift the envelope and look inside, as everyone suspected that it might be a trap. Later, after shaking it with the help of a broom, it was opened. A document of total 3 pages was found in this envelope, which was typed on a typewriter. At the top of the headline it was written, "There was a warning for hotel management and bomb scud." Under the headline, it was written that one should not try to shake this bomb because it has such a mechanism inside that if it is shaken even a little, it will detonate within milliseconds. One should also not try to put water or gas in it because it has float switches inside it. If this is done, then the air pressure inside the machine would increase, and in this case too, it would explode. The screws on the top of the machine are also connected to the trigger, so even if the screw is turned 25 turns, it would still explode. In simple words, this bomb was so delicate that even a slight movement could detonate it, at least as was written in the letter. According to him, at that time, 600 guests were sleeping in their rooms. The police first evacuated the hotel and asked all the guests to go to the parking lot. After that, the bomb squad was called, and they first inspected the machine properly. It was a box made of about half-inch steel sheet, which was welded very neatly. At the places where there were some marks, the body was straightened by applying putty used for the car body. There were bubble levels on all 4 sides of the box, which were probably installed to keep the machine absolutely straight. All these things were indicating that what was written in the letter was indeed true. It was further written in the letter that this bomb was made by someone. It cannot be shut down properly. Even its manufacturer cannot do this. It has automatic timers, which can be automatically shut down within next 24 hours. That too, only if the management follows the instructions written in this letter. Law enforcement agencies and bomb squad have not taken any such step, considering the sensitivity of the matter, so that there is a danger of this bomb exploding. First, they tried to find any fingerprints on the box, but they could not find anything. Then they took pictures of it from all sides and X-rayed it with a special X-ray machine so that it could be ascertained whether there is really something inside it or it is just a hoax. Until the X-ray machine could not detect any fingerprints, 511. He put a stethoscope on the body of the box and began to listen carefully. There was definitely something inside it, that was making a sound. Something was constantly moving inside the box. It was claimed in the letter that there was TNT present inside the box, but how much of it was? At one place in the letter, it was indicated that if the bomb exploded, the road would be damaged. The casino across the street would also suffer significant damage, and the following words were written, which translate to, "You are advised to move people away from a radius of 1,200 feet from the bomb." Police officers also evacuated nearby buildings, shut down the hotel's gas pipeline, and casino employees also stole cash worth millions of dollars. And they started shifting. FBI agents also reached the spot and made a command and control center for this operation in a nearby building. The faces of the police and law enforcement agencies were screaming that the matter was more serious than it appeared. But after all, whoever had placed this bomb here had certain demands. What was it? It was written in the letter that they want $3 million in cash, but on the condition that these should be used 00 rupee notes, and there should not be any kind of marking on them, and neither should any kind of chemical be applied on them. It was also written that in case of any trickery, the method of defusing the bomb would not be told, and if the demand is not met within 24 hours, then, if this was not done, the automatic timers would automatically detonate the bomb. But who was to be given this money, and how? When the prepared X-ray film came back from the lab, the blurred black and white picture supported the claim of the threatening letter to some extent. The small control box fitted on top of the machine was seen in the X-ray that it was indeed, there are wires connected to the screws, which were also mentioned in the letter. There was a straight tube in the box, which could possibly be a tilt sensor, and a float valve was also clearly visible. Apart from this, the box below was filled with various cylinders. At that time, the police had no idea as to what these cylinders were made of. For one thing, it was confirmed that the person who wrote the letter was not playing a prank. This machine was actually a bomb. Slowly, the 24-hour deadline was getting over, so the authority agreed to give the money. The information about the delivery of the money was also written in the 3-page letter. This money would be delivered to the pilot via helicopter. The instructions said that he will land at 11 p.m. near the LTA building at Lake Tahoe Airport, and the helicopter should head towards the south. After that, the pilot will land and stand near the fans where he will receive a call, and the rest of the instructions will be given in that call. Remember, there should only be a pilot in the helicopter. Neither a gunman nor any other person was responsible for this task. An agent named Joe Cook started the FBI helicopter. $3 million in cash was placed in the helicopter, but all of these were fake notes. A gunman was also hidden behind the pilot's seat in the helicopter. The gunman was instructed that no matter what happens, he should kill the FBI agent, which has to be protected. At exactly 11 o'clock at night, the FBI agent landed at the specified place and stood near the fans. In a short while, the phone booth near the fans rang. When the agent picked up the phone, a person from the other side said that there is a letter under the table of the phone booth, pick it up and read it. Whoever was on the other side was very clever. The public did not want to remain on the phone for more than 5 seconds, because the longer the call, the more are the chances of it being traced. This new letter was written to the pilot. It said that first of all, go towards the helicopter and turn on a flashlight inside and show every corner of the helicopter. Do not forget that we are watching you. After takeoff, go towards Highway 50. Exactly after 15 minutes, you will see a strobe in the forest on your right-hand side. Land near the strobe, facing south. There you will find another letter hanging on a tree. The pilot did exactly the same. He cleverly illuminated the cockpit of the helicopter in such a way that it appeared in the gun. He could not see it, and after takeoff, he reached the exact point where he was supposed to see the strobe. After reaching the location, the pilot could not see any strobe probe light anywhere. He kept circling the same place for the next 1 hour, but there was no movement in the jungle in the dark night, so he came back to the airport and landed later. They found out that they didn't read the instructions properly, and the place they had to go to was actually miles away from there. To send a message to the person who gave the instructions, a news was aired on TV that there was some confusion about the location in the instructions. The person who planned this whole game found out that the police were still after them. When he was ready to pay the money, he called the police station and said, "Harvey, turn the switch number 5 of the machine in this hotel upwards and wait for the next phone call." Maybe he wanted to buy some time to make a new plan. That's why he asked to turn the dummy switch upwards. But now it was too late. It was 6:40 in the morning. That means it had been more than 24 hours since the bomb was lying in the hotel, but it had not exploded even after the deadline had passed. This was a positive thing. On the other hand, the FBI police, bomb scud, and fire department teams present in the command and control center had estimated that this box could contain a maximum of 1,000 pounds of TNT. All those calculations were done. They had thought that if this bomb exploded here in the hotel, then the pillars of the building would not be damaged. At most, the interiors of the floor would be damaged. So they fitted a small bomb with a control box next to the bomb. The plan was that this plastic bomb would render the control box useless as soon as it exploded, and in this way, maybe TNT. All preparations were complete so that it could not detonate. The surrounding buildings were evacuated and preparations were made to explode the bomb. At this time, it was 3:45 in the afternoon of 27th August. The whole of Harju was standing 1 kilometer away and watching this scene, and news outlets were recording this scene. Meanwhile, the sound of fire in the hole was heard, and the button of the remote control was pressed. The machine lying in the corridor detonated due to the shock, and the bomb blasted, but it did not contain TNT, as was written in the letter. Instead, on checking it later, it was found that it contained dynamite, whose explosion is much less than that of TNT. But who was the person who placed this bomb? After investigation, it was found out that the person who planted the bomb in Harvey Hotel and Casino was 58-year-old John Biggies, and his 2 sons were helping him in this work. He had lost his entire life savings in this casino, and that is why he cleverly made this whole plan to extort money from the hotel owner. Later, it was known that John Biggies' plan was to bomb the hotel. The helicopter was to be stolen. Once the pilot reached the location and landed in the jungle to find a new envelope, John Biggies' sons would escape with the helicopter to a location where they had already parked their car. John Burgess was sentenced to 20 years in prison, while his sons were released in exchange for helping the police. Forgiveness. John Biggies died in 1996 due to liver cancer. After this incident, the owner of the hotel got the Harvey Hotel renovated and relaunched it with a new design and more rooms.